Hi everyone, my name is Claire and I am a simmer and partnered streamer over on Twitch, and for my first ever YouTube video, I'm going to be sharing some of the lessons that I've learned across my journey to completing Path to Partner and then consequently becoming a partner over on Twitch, all in under a year. If you would like to follow me on Twitch, I play The Sims, I play some cozy games, we vibe together. I stream on Twitch on Monday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Saturday, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Come join us. So why should you listen to me, you ask? Well, I have the answer for you.
Who are you?
Aside of completing Path to Partner in under 6 months and then becoming a partner shortly after that, I'm also a social media expert and an influencer expert with over 6 years in the industry. And that means over that time, I have actually cobbled together some lessons that could be helpful and that I would really love to share with you. And they have nothing to do with buying fancy equipment or learning how to use technology. There are a lot of smarter people out there on this platform who can help you with that, trust me. These lessons are geared towards helping you switch your mindset to make you become a little bit more entrepreneurial, and that's going to allow you to problem solve and stream more efficiently while still staying curious and passionate about this process. Also, I wanted to share my perspective because there are so many streaming tips and advice channels out there that are geared towards a very different kind of streamer, aka a pew pew streamer who looks nothing like me. And I play cozy games. I play The Sims 4, I play Stardew Valley, I play Animal Crossing with the occasional pew pew sort of thrown in there.
Jim, you're on a roll.
Am I?
So if you would like to learn more about my journey on Twitch and the lessons that I've learned along the way, then keep on watching. So the first lesson that I have for you, and this really applies to anything outside of streaming, but definitely applies to your streaming journey, is know your why. Again, seems super obvious. So for some context, I started streaming in February of 2020. With no expectations of this ever becoming anything or getting any traction. I didn't have any gear. I just used my MacBook Pro with its built-in mic and webcam. And ultimately what I did know is that I was lonely and that I was scared about the pandemic. We were about to go into a year-long pandemic and I just wanted to connect with people. I was also already playing The Sims for like 4 to 6 hours a day, and I thought, you know what, if I start streaming and make one single friend, it'll be well worth it for me. So within 20 minutes of that realization, I downloaded OBS, started my streaming setup, and went live for the first time with my MacBook Pro and my built-in mic and webcam. And yes, you heard correctly, I used to stream on a MacBook Pro on Wi-Fi. And what I was met with was this amazing group of people, and they were also looking for a friend. They were just looking for someone to connect with and talk about The Sims 4. I was also hungry for that connection, so I made every effort to remember what was going on in their lives, what they were up to in their day-to-day, and ask them about it all the time on stream. And I was so grateful for anyone that came into my stream, whether they stayed for 5 minutes or 5 hours. And I did grow and grow over time, but that kernel of a why still stayed the same throughout the entire journey, to nurture and foster a community of people who could connect. And we almost used the game, The Sims 4, as a backdrop. And really what we were there to do was build relationships. Now, has my why and my relationship to it changed and evolved over time? I mean, of course. Have I made iterations, gotten more specific over time? Definitely. As my branding evolves, of course, the idea has changed. Now, how'd you come up with a good why? Well, it's actually really easy, like super easy. Make your why specific. If you ask any streamer why they stream, they will probably give you some version of,
I just want a game, I want to have fun, I want to make people laugh.
Newsflash. That is not good enough. It is not specific enough. If your why is the same as every other streamer, it is gonna be unspecific and uninteresting because there's nothing that makes you stand out. But let me try and specify it for me. So for me, I just want to have fun, or I just want a game means I want to play wholesome, cozy, creative life sims. Have fun means a zany and wacky, meme-centric kind of humor with an intersectional lens. And make people laugh me always has the caveat of never at the expense of others. With that, see how quickly I made that so specific? See how quickly I made that just about me? If you can do that deep thinking, you'll be able to do the same and really figure out the little nuances and intricacies that makes your stream uniquely yours. And this brings me to my second tip, lesson number 2. Always say yes and, not no but. So the culture that you build on your stream is always going to be the backbone of your content. And some of that is going to come from your why, but a big chunk of that is going to come from what comes up organically in your stream, in the back and forth that you have with your community and your audience, and in the little in-jokes and bits of banter that you create along the way. Those little nuggets and ways that you guys identify yourselves are going to be the backbone of your culture. And being able to identify those bits and identify those moments and heighten them and expand them is a big part of helping to grow a brand and grow your community. For example, on my stream, I go to the bathroom every hour on the hour. Don't let anybody tell you that
you can't take breaks on your stream. It is very important. Please take lots of breaks.
Anyway, so I take a break every hour on the hour, and I stream right next to my cat's litter box. And I was looking at the litter box, and I accidentally one time said, I'm gonna go use my litter box instead of I'm going to the restroom. While I was on my break, my chat made a huge thing out of it and made a big joke out of me going to use the litter box. And when I came back, I realized my mistake, and it was a huge laugh. And it was not only a really fun moment to enjoy all of us together in the stream, but I latched onto that bit and made a meme out of it. So now we have a litter box emote. All of my transitions say it's pee-pee poo-poo time. Like, even though I was the butt of the joke, being able to allow myself to be made fun of made the community feel seen and heard, and made that bit so much funnier. And it's now become a huge backbone of my culture. And even though I was the butt of the joke, being able to identify that moment where I was able to poke fun at myself, where I'd made a mistake, allowed my community to feel seen and heard, and made the joke so much funnier. And now we have an Easter egg that shows up in all different parts of my branding that we can all sort of enjoy together. So being able to identify those moments, those bits, are going to be a huge part of how you build your culture. They're going to be a huge part of how you build your brand that is actually genuinely organic and authentic. Lean into those moments. You know, watch your streams back. One of the easiest ways to do that is watch your streams back and see if there was a funny moment that you missed. Ask your mods to clip your streams for you and see if there's something you can pick up on that can become a bigger meme in your own culture. It's really easy, and it's really just a muscle to flex, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So even though I just said,
say yes to everything. Yes is really important. Don't say no. No, but it's bad.
Okay, this next tip is rooted in a negative, and I hate to do that, but there's really no other way than to root this next one in a negative. And my next tip is,
ooh, this one makes me so mad, but it's really important.
Don't spend a bunch of money on equipment that you can't afford just because it's got some big streamer gear on it, especially if you're just starting out. And this is...
It's making me so mad. My headphones are gonna fall off.
This is so important to me, because there is a huge industry around the hype of gaming and the hype of streamers, and a lot of companies are going to try and latch onto your passion and try and sell you
some insane headphones that you really need, or some RGB lights that are perfect for gamers,
or whatever. But that is capitalism, my friends. That is just capitalism latching onto a new market, and you are the target consumer. You do not need these things to become a good streamer, period. End of story. You do not need that stuff. Yeah, you 100%. I am 100% proof that you do not need a fancy setup, a fancy DSLR, a fancy microphone to become a good streamer, to become a successful streamer. They are nice to haves, and hey, if you can afford it, if that is well within your budget, like, go ahead. You know, it's up to you. Those things are available to you, but they are not mandatory for you to become a successful streamer. But there are so many things that are still exactly the same as when I started streaming, because there's no need to spend money where you don't need to. So for example, I have always streamed on my iPhone. This camera right here, the one I'm talking to you from, this is in my iPhone. It is in my iPhone. It is not even a new iPhone. It's an iPhone S. My real iPhone is, I don't know, charging somewhere around my room. But I have always, apart from when I was like just starting out, streamed on my iPhone. The quality is pretty good. I have never felt a need to change to a big DSLR. And that's something that hasn't changed. I still stream on my iPhone. My lights. See these pretty purple lights? The backlight that you see this nice purple glow, that is a UV light for plants. That is a plant light that I just had lying around the house. I wasn't using it for my plants, so I used it for my stream. I think it cost me like 12 bucks on Amazon. My backlight, this is a $9 light from IKEA.
$9.
Even actually this RGB like beep 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 light, I think that's like a strip light from Amazon. Right there, it's 2 strip lights, I stapled them together. This is just like my embarrassing secrets all coming out. But you see what I mean, right? You see what I mean? There are some upgrades that totally make sense to make, but if you can't afford it and you're still trying to figure out if you want to be a streamer, don't buy it. Don't buy it. You can MacGyver some stuff together. I am like the ultimate MacGyver of streaming. I think outside of my computer, I've, over the last 18 months, spent like, I don't know, $200 like, total on my setup. So if you want to upgrade your stream smartly, 100%, you should do that. But please, please, please don't feel pressured to get the latest
stream gadget, doohickey, bloody bloop thing.
Just because some company somewhere, some CEO of some company is promising that it's going to make you a great streamer. You don't need it. It's not necessary. End of story. Let's move on. Focus on the human element. Focus on the content. Focus on what you are bringing your audience, how you can be of service to your audience. And if you focus on that human element and let all the extra add-ons be exactly what they are, extra add-ons, you'll be on your way. And that brings me really nicely to my next lesson, which is to stay curious and always follow your joy. And I don't mean that in a hokey kumbaya sense. There are a lot of real practical benefits to following your joy and staying curious. I started this video by saying know your why, and this tip is entirely built around asking why. Okay, so let's put on our marketing hats for 1 second. Think about yourself as a viewer and a consumer and ask yourself this question. Who are your top 5 creators? Get them in your head, write them down, actually do this exercise. Now, once you've got those top 5 creators, what is it about them that makes them your top 5 creators? Really break down their content in a formulaic way. Is there a particular way that they tell jokes that really resonates with you? Is there a type of humor that they have that keeps you coming back? Is there a certain editing style that they lean into that's really funny? Or are there overlays part of the culture that adds to the bit? Do they have a really, really unique way of building a meme? You know, those are just some examples of how you could break it down. But once you have that rubric of what it is about those content creators that you love, try and cherry pick things that you want to start incorporating into your own content, because those kernels are not copying. Once you identify their strategies, when you implement them in your own content, it's going to look totally different. So for example, let's take the little things that we just said just now. If you really like how someone tells a joke, they've got a very specific style of comedy, read some stand-up comedy, watch stand-up comedy, listen to some really iconic comedy album, take a comedy class, go to an improv class, whatever is available to you and you are able to do, you should latch on to those resources. Learn what makes a good joke. There's a formula to good jokes. Learn about the rule of 3. Even I can think of some good jokes or some good jokes. I don't know any good jokes. I'm actually not a comedian at all. But there are techniques you can lean into to help make you a better comedian and help you identify jokes in a more improvisational way. The next one, let's say one of your favorite content creators has a really great branding setup. They have really great overlays. They really help to heighten the bit and learn about design, learn about visual branding. There are a lot of great courses online you can take. There are a lot of great and interesting platforms out there that are easy to use, like Canva. Familiarize yourself with them. They're easy enough to use. Just start getting familiar with that aspect of creating content and then incorporate it into your own stream. And if you can get into the practice of unpacking what you find entertaining, it'll make it so much easier to make content that you enjoy. And let me be super clear. Let me be super clear. When I say create content you enjoy, that isn't me saying,
just have fun. If you just have fun, everything will be fine.
No, that is not true. It's not true. I think it's one of the biggest myths about streaming out there, that if you just have fun, it's going to be fine. Make content that you enjoy. That does not mean that you're not going to have to challenge yourself. It doesn't mean you're not going to have to get vulnerable. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have to identify your own blind spots and then fill them, which is difficult. But what it does mean is that it will lead you to people and lead you to an audience that's like-minded. You'll find people who love the same content that you do in a really organic and authentic way, which in turn is going to be more fun over time. It doesn't mean that you're going to have fun every single moment of the day, but it means you're going to have way more fun in the long run. If you're able to stay curious and follow your joy, what that's going to do is help you grow into the creator that you want to be and create an audience that's like-minded and that care about you and who can support you on that elusive path to partner. And that leads me super nicely onto my final lesson that I learned on my path to partner, which is no man is an island. No streamer does it alone. Here's what I mean by that. If you're the kind of person that has a great on-camera presence, you know how to edit content, you got an amazing TikTok, you understand branding, you are an animator. If you can do everything, this tip doesn't apply to you. But newsflash, if you're like me, chances are you can't do everything. Chances are you are not some all-knowing magic stream unicorn who can do everything. And if that's the case, learn how to delegate. Learn how to delegate. Ask somebody to help you. You are not an island. You cannot do it alone. The most successful brands on the planet have a team of people with a wealth of knowledge and specific expertise, and they all come together as a team to build that brand. I know that. I've been working in branding for 6 years. I don't do it alone. I work on a team. There's no reason you shouldn't also be working on a team. So, for example, I know that my skill sets are being on camera. I have a great on-camera presence, I think, comparatively to most people. I'm not saying I'm great, but I know how to turn it on. You know what I mean? I know how to switch it on. And I also know that I can craft a story together. I have a pretty good knack for crafting narrative, and I'm a strategist. I've been a strategist for 6 years, so I understand the elements of what makes a successful story.
But I'm not a designer.
I have no background in creating a visual brand. I have no background in creating a successful aesthetic. Anything I make is like one of those like graphic design is my passion memes. That's my whole natural skill set when it comes to branding. So when I was thinking and starting to create my own visual brand and my overlays and a logo and all of that malarkey, I outsourced. I am super blessed that I have a group of friends who are insanely talented. 2 of my very close friends have a design agency. Another friend of mine who I went to high school with way back is an insane animator. And then we have someone in our mutual friendship group who is a musician. And all of us coupled together, we were able to create an absolutely amazing brand for my stream that I never ever would have been able to do alone. The caliber of work that I have been able to accomplish with a group of people, aside from doing it myself, is I mean, just look at it. I'll let Ashley cobble in some of the branding. It's I have no words. Thank you to my team who do amazing work. And I'm lucky. I am in a position that I am able to compensate people for this. And you might be saying,
Claire, but I can't afford to pay a designer. I don't have those resources. I don't have friends who are designers, and I can't afford to pay them.
false. You can do this without having to pay anyone if that is not something you're able to do. Before I was in a position where I could pay people for work, I did work trades. Think of the skill set that you have. Just because you have blind spots doesn't mean you don't also have a lot to offer. For example, for me, one of the things that I did when I was first starting out is I offered social media consulting. I am a social media consultant in my day job, and I would offer consulting sessions to my other friends who needed a bit of branding help, they needed some social media help. We would book in some sessions and I would pay them in sessions. I'm also a certified life coach. That has nothing to do with streaming, but outside of my streaming life, I am a life coach. So I've offered coaching sessions to people in exchange for their work. You would be surprised at how much you can offer that you currently aren't monetizing that people would love to have. So work on some work trades, work on different non-fungible, that's not the right term. Non-fungible is not right. But and by delegating all of that work and freeing up my time to focus on the things that I'm really good at, I was able to hone in on my content, develop my on-camera presence more, and focus on the things that I know I can achieve, while my team and myself in the background were working and building the brands that I couldn't do alone. And I mean, you've seen the results. They look great. again, those are some of the lessons that I learned on my path to partner, and for me, I know they were crucial in helping me to get that partnership, to get that little tick. And let me also just say that I don't think there is one singular video out there on YouTube that's going to give you all the tips that you need to become an amazing streamer or to get that partner tick. But what I do know is that these 5 lessons that I've shared with you today serve as a barometer for me that I can come back to whenever I feel stuck or in a creative rut. I can ask myself these questions and lean on these lessons to help re-inspire me and reinvigorate me onto the next step of my content creation and pull me out of that rut. So what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned in your streaming journey? Give me a little rootle down there in the comments. Let me know. What have you learned? Let's share the knowledge, share the wealth together. If you liked this video, you know, give it a like so that more people like you can find the content, hopefully get something helpful out of it. And if you would like more social media content, tips, tricks, as well as some Sims videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week and I stream on Twitch on Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And with that, I gotta go because I am gonna go start my stream literally, right now. So I will see you later. Have a fan-dabby-dozy day and I will see you next time. Goodbye.